And you are looking in on Mike Pettine, one of the legendary coaches.
Yeah, you talk about Mike Pettine's career at Central Bucks West. He's in his 32nd year as head coach.
You're talking about a guy that's won 310 ball games in his career and lost only 42 and is looking for his third championship here in the 90s.
Ball at the 1-foot line. Handoff, Pettine. Touchdown, Central Bucks West. The run, Pettine wide. One-on-one, pushing. Touchdown, Central Bucks West. There's Pettine, first down and more. Goodbye. Here he is, bringing it 20. Pouring it on at the 10, and it's a touchdown. His 5th of the night. The next great player in Pennsylvania.
You're looking at him.
Pettine, Jr. Stud.
Bring it down.
Mailman, get ready. As they count it down for Mike Pettine, got his 300th career win, and now a second consecutive state champion.
I mean, when you see a football team score on every offensive possession, how rare is that? That's a rarity on the level of a perfect game.
Don't be surprised if a year from now that these guys have this on their schedule again.
I get the feeling sometimes it's like destiny. Our fans talk about where we're going to go back. We're going to three-peat. That's not the way you play football. Your butts have to make it happen. Make it happen.
Another medal arm by you, Alton. Another one.
High school football, the stakes have gotten higher, especially in a place like this, where you win, and people expect it. Community, it's good for the community. It makes everybody feel good in the school. It's got a lot of positive attributes.
That's right, Gary, my annual trip to Mecca, so to speak. I am indeed live here in Doylestown in the cafeteria of the two-time defending state champion Bucks of CB West.
Well, we have some blue collar and business type, executive type, but we have a pretty good mix. You know, you got to draw on the West tradition.
It's you look at the West kids, and he's there's nothing magical in the water in the district. But these kids grow up fanatic about playing for CB West because of the tradition that's been built.
You know, one guy left our team, and what did he say? I don't think I'm cut out to play for a championship caliber team. He didn't want the pressure. He didn't want the competition. That's it. Quit now. You're going to quit?
I'm not quitting.
Well, then get in. What are you stopping for? You know, we put pressure on them as coaches. There he goes again. We run in very intense practices. I don't think you're going to find too many practices more intense. That's still Saul. Well, yeah, get out. You know, get out. Get out. Go read your press clipping.
You know, I could see if anybody deserves to be ranked up there. I mean, coming off the 2 years that we've had.
Everybody's talking about how good we are. Now, if you start believing that stuff, you're going to be in trouble.
But we have a great support group and a great community grassroots base.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Marty, how's it going?
And again, I'm not so sure that if you were losing, you know, that you'd have that type of support. You know, a lot of it is based. So there's the pressure to keep it going. Can we do it again? And but the fans, they just think Mike Pettine and me, we're just going to snap our fingers and we're there.
You know, the expectation is so high. It seems most of the pieces of the puzzle to have a pretty good team are there, with the exception of the offensive line.
Forget about last year's team. It's your team.
If we're going to put a lot of time in on football and you're going to do well in your studies, then what has to go? Something has to go that the normal student doesn't give up. What is that going to be, Oriole? Social time.
Now, is it hard? You guys aren't allowed to party because you guys signed a pledge.
Yeah.
Now, no one has to disclose. No one just has to talk about how much you guys need. I mean,
You talk about football is like a family. You cry with these guys, your teammates, you laugh with them. The closer you are, I think the more you're going to pull for one another, you're not going to let one another down. Does this team have that closeness? I don't know yet. You know, I've been doing this since football-wise, taking up the fall of my life since 7th grade as a kid that went to practice every day and on the junior high 100-pound team. And played every year in high school, in college, and immediately coached, and have coached ever since 1962. You know, coaching is teaching. And if you're not teaching kids really essentials of what parents want, you know, this is good time spent for my kid to develop, a boy to become a man, learn teamwork, learn values of discipline, budgeting your time, and hopefully that's what we're doing other than, you know, winning championships.
Good is not good enough with him, that's for sure. He's demanding. If you don't do it his way, boy, he can get awful angry.
You're the last one out of the huddle. You jog up, get your ass up, and then you don't get down. Why? You're not ready to play.
Everybody keep asking, when do you think he'll retire? When do you think he'll retire?
I know my dad's close to retirement. I don't know when he's going to get out, but
he's just so competitive. I would say at least another 3 or 4 years. That's the type of guy he is.
I don't think the time is right. I just think if he wakes up and feels, you know, the fire's not there, he's got to get out right away.
But the last 2 years, having played 15 games, by December he was really, truly burned out.
You know, if he feels he's ready to pass the torch, then, you know, I'm here ready to take it.
Now, this guy wanted to do something on CB West football, and you know, he's an independent, nice guy, and I committed to him. And a couple weeks afterwards, ESPN calls me. So I said, look, I gave my word to this other gentleman. The guy's going, well, you gotta be kidding me, you know, this is ESPN. So I told him, I said, look, here are some other good teams. We were just talking about North Penn and, you know, father, son. And so a week later, my son calls me, he says, thanks for the leftovers.
So he's going to get it?
So they've been there with cameras rolling.
As a coach, you know, they've set the standard in our league, and we try to emulate that. I mean, I'll make no secret about it. People say, oh, you're so much like CB West. And I'll say, thank you very much. I mean, that's as good a compliment as you can pay a high school coach. It took me some time, I think, to earn his respect as a coach. I think eventually, you know, after several years of coaching for him, that came, but...
Let's go, pay attention. I said dog's a quick end. Flip right on one. Get your head out of your ass.
You know, there's no room for soft touches in our business. Hey, if it's clear he ain't the guy, cut his reps. I ain't gonna live and die with that sucker.
She asked him, well, what is Poppy? Poppy's a football coach. What is Daddy?
You know,
Daddy's a football coach. And then he'll say, and I be football coach.
Obviously, you want to develop, you know, boys into men and turn out some good character kids. But the bottom line, kind of surrounding all of it, is you want to be successful. You want to win.
And he's bright. I mean, he's bright to the point where he would try to cut corners. I mean, he would just not study for a test and, you know, ace them. And however, now his work, his nuts and bolts every day, you know, I'm probably the opposite, you know, not as smart, but I had to, you know, do everything the hard way to get it done.
You know, I've patterned, like I said, I've patterned a lot of what we do here after what I did there.
That was my second game yesterday.
Oh,
I
really?
was at Pennsbury in the afternoon, watching my son's game. And then at CB West last night. And the grandkids were at both games, too.
I've never seen her, but supposedly she puts her head in her hands. Really?
I just figure if I don't look, nothing bad will happen. So I've missed a lot of exciting plays with that philosophy. And we had dated all through high school and through college, so that I knew what he wanted to do with his life. I, at that point, had no idea the time commitment in coaching. But I learned real fast. And obviously he loves what he does, but he can be very demanding. And he is a perfectionist, so that can be hard to live with sometimes.
Yeah, she's kind of an unsung hero. And Wiley in the background, I think of a coach wants to really make a commitment. And there were a lot of trade-offs. And of course, she mentioned some of them. I wasn't around as much as I should have been. And then toward the season, you know, mentally you're just in your little zone and you don't, you know, focus on things that maybe you should, and I think that's makes it tough for the wife, and that you know, that they often have to suffer the brunt of the frustration and even the pressure, even when things are going well. You know, how do people deal with pressure?
They yell at their wife. That's what they do.
Come on now, I'm not that bad.
We got this Pettine guy though. He's real good. He's real good.
Drive it hard. Drive it hard. Drive it hard. That's it. Drive your leg. Drive your leg.
I realized really what's at stake. I mean, you got all this publicity about the two state championships, and like nobody this year has experienced a loss at West, so it's kind of thing you don't want to happen.
I just Pettine told me today he's up for Gatorade Player of the Year in all United States. It's down to 5 guys.
Well, Pettine has a chance to start.
Dusty, Coach Flaherty, University of Iowa. How you doing, buddy? Hey, I'll call you later.
Michigan State, Syracuse, Iowa, Georgia Tech, even Miami. I've talked to them a couple times.
When Mike showed him to me as a 9th grader, he said, he's a Miami guy.
What's this guy been telling you?
Who's this guy?
Dustin.
Nothing. He don't say nothing.
Well, don't let him bullshit you. I've never been out of the loop like I have been on this one.
I've been calling him. I call once a week and just say, hey man, what's up?
Not much.
Yeah. He's a little different, isn't he?
If you want to be good at something, you can't snap your fingers. If you want to be good over a long run, you really got to get a formula together and a plan and stick to it.
We start our program in January.
That's football here at West. That's CB West. Not that, Gary. Late one tonight. No, not too bad. About the same.
I mean, in the off season, during the season, aren't too many teams in the country that work harder than our kids. It's really pretty simple in football the way we play it. We're trying to get more people at the point of attack than you have defenders. A lot that we do as coaches is a tremendous attention to detail.
What's supposed to be? One side of it touching. Up more.
Bootleg, waggle, reverse, and tread. Now that holds up for red special, 43 monster red, and 44 red. Any questions?
But the bottom line, whether it's business or whether it's a football team or a lot of other endeavors, when you pay attention to detail, that's the difference between success or failure. You know, victory or defeat.
So what are you doing? Full speed out of control. The sweep. Who do you get? You just went and blocked the corner.
So we challenge our kids.
You better look in the mirror, young man. The talent you have and you're not producing.
You said it, pal. If you can't make the plays, I get Camberin in there.
Hey, you can't be a nice guy. Football is a tough game. You know, the opponent wants to at times humiliate you, beat you up.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Mr. Loosey-goosey after the great game. Because your mind isn't on what you got to do.
Once you develop that physical and mental toughness, the game may be a step down from what these guys have been through the week.
That's why they drove down. Guys are on the bench that should be in the damn game. I need a break. It's like a disease. Suck it up.
You can draw the conclusion that, hey, you're abusing these kids. And hey, maybe sometimes we've gone over the line, but I think if you take a look at all the players that have gone through our program and the feedback that we get, I think overall we've been on the right track.
No, I do. I miss that. I miss the clipboards on my head.
I don't do that anymore. I used to, break clipboards.
You're a duff. What are you doing?
And that big sound effect didn't hurt him, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. It would just crack them. Then you yell at me for breaking the clipboard. There's no question. One of my frustrations when I was up in the CFL was that I had better coaching in high school by far.
Can I say something? Yeah. I mean, you guys sitting up there fucking talking to us and shit. I mean, just talking isn't going to get anyone pumped up. Well, yeah, you guys tell all us, but no, I don't see. No, I'm talking about like, I mean, I want to see you guys have some intensity.
This is just a meeting. We're talking.
Why?
Stop laughing. Serious.
Now, as I mentioned the other day, the only thing we got so far with this version of CB West football is promise. Do you know how many athletes in the world and teams there are that just have promise and never do much? Okay, we've had a lot of teams in the past in CB West that had promise and didn't do much. Because they were reading their press clippings, they assumed everything good was going to happen. They forgot what it was that it takes to win.
Second and 1 goes to Pettine off the right side, and Dustin goes in for the score. Fakes inside, keeps it himself, cuts back inside his left tackle, all kinds of running room. 45, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and DiGiacomo goes in standing up.
North Penn blew out Abington. It was 40-0 at half. And their outstanding running back, Heike Johnson, 6 touchdowns.
North Penn's in a different class than everybody else except for us. You don't want to think about them because we're only in September, but I'm already, like, in my mind, I know the defenses I'm going to play against them already. I'm already looking at their set saying, okay, this is how we're going to match up.
I'm hurt, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I should be in shorts.
I think it started with the kid, with the trainer said he felt he shouldn't practice. The trainer thought he could practice.
God help the training staff you deal with next year. God bless them.
I think there was a little tension there, and you know, sometimes when emotions get into the equation, but obviously he was upset. He went home.
Pettine still sick? Back?
Back, neck.
The other one, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He's like inclining, he's cleaning 185 pounds. Like, you couldn't incline 30 pounds if you had a bad back. And you guys must think that you're hearing the same old song and dance every day. You know, there's a level of frustration growing within the team and the staff. It's something I've never seen before in this program. This just goes hand in hand with the way this team is going this year. It's just, it's unlike any team I've been around in 25 years.
Stop walking away from me when I'm talking to you. Get over here. Why? Where were you? Where were you?
Somebody tripped me up. You told me to go get one. And I told you that I got 7 reps all week.
It's always something with this club. Every time you turn around, it's like crisis.
It blows my mind with a number 4 ranked team in the state or in the country, the number 1 ranked team in the state, and you got guys that just walk around like zombies.
You're not going to be a good football team with this type of crap.
It's like 4 of our starter guys like opt and quit. Like, what the heck is that about, you know? And they all came back, but it's still like
that one guy went to East.
That isn't still a team.
Sometimes when like your self-esteem goes down a little bit, you know, I think like it'd be better if you like encouraged me like a little bit and just like instead of yelling at me, just being like, you know, that's a good block, but just like do this, that, and that. Because I'm the type of player that like I like sort of shut down when people like get in my face and like yell at me, you know, because
you really don't like get the concept of what they're trying to teach. You know, you're just like seeing that they're like yelling at me, rather than somebody calmly like expressing what the problem is. You know, because then I think you become like a better player. You know, and have more respect for the coach.
A miraculous came in today. I woke up like I told you in the middle of the night. I'm just fucking pissed off as I can be. And I'm saying I'm not going to go another day with this arrangement here. You know, we had a meeting and it was just extremely positive. You know, he basically acted like I reacted because of anger, and you know, I thought it over. And
they said that in the beginning, me like get the ball less, which I guess I didn't have a problem with, but I guess I did have a problem with it, I guess.
As he said, you know, he was really having some problems with issues and didn't know if he was could play or didn't feel like playing. And
well, in the beginning of the season, I'm anxious to go out there and like do a lot of stuff, but I mean, it just didn't happen the way I thought it was. You know, so.
Early on, they're keying on you. Don't be surprised if I don't get you into it gradually. You know what I mean? Don't just be going on, you get your 15. And anything after that is gravy.
And, you know, he's very driven by statistics. And I'm going to tell you, it's not unlike a lot of good players.
I don't know. I mean, I like having good stats and stuff. I mean, in the beginning of the season, I didn't think I was getting the carries I should be, but I mean.
It was a snowball effect. Once these publications, one got a hold of a thing, they all named him All-American and everything, and he's got so much to live up to that his standard, he doesn't know. He says, I'm never happy. If I get 125 yards, it's just not enough.
I told him, like, you know what, when I had my little incident on Monday, and I talked to him. He says that my captaincy is suspended. I just told him he could have it.
You know, if you're going to have rules, they have to be applied, you know, in an equitable way. And
I guess I could say I don't like him. Most of the time I don't like him. I respect him, the coach was. I mean, that's all I need, really.
You know, over the years you have weeks like this, but thankfully not too many.
Yeah, Pete, how you been?
Good. How are you?
Good. You were coaching there too, huh? Weren't you?
Yeah.
You don't have the headaches, believe me. I could enjoy part of this a whole lot, but the headaches are getting to, you know, it's like the scale that tips. Mm-hmm. And it's tipping in favor of a lot of golf.
We ready, guys?
Yeah!
Yeah! 1, 2, 3, go!
You know, if you want to see what motivates most football players in their careers, it's when they've been benched.
Wind up, and punch!
You know, that's the challenge of high school. You can't go out and recruit.
Yeah.
You get what the junior highs and the middle schools give you. I played for Mike in the 70s. All my brothers did.
You know, Coach Carey in particular is a truly outstanding assistant coach.
What technique did you come out at?
I was at a 3.
You are not.
I was going at a 3, the angle inside.
You can't play for me. Get off the field. Get off, you're too slow.
I think Mike and I have a good relationship in that, you know, we can be pretty emotional. We're very intense.
He stinks at center. You're the worst. And they're going to hurt your career. My career. Line up.
You know, I didn't commit coming back this year until May. And I've really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I came back. And
from day one, he certainly was not a yes man.
Talk about knowing the blocking schemes.
Oh, talk about knowing the blocking scheme. Come on. I know what your back's doing. Christ, you know, there's a different front every time.
Instead of meeting, you better spend most of the time on the board with the defense.
I will, Coach. You know, we're shutting them out. Let's get a couple more scores here.
A couple more scores? That's just the linemen stop jumping off sides and procedures.
That's
where it is.
That's bullshit. Bullshit. You didn't
Call
say
the
that.
43.
West.
That's what we've been in, Coach. Because you're screaming at me. Collect your thoughts. Let's get our thoughts together, everybody, on offense, and get something together. It's just like at the last
When you're
minute.
not blocking anybody, it's like that's what happens. You start grabbing for straws.
I probably would be out just playing golf and doing other things other than football coaching if it weren't for him. I mean, I think we make a pretty good team.
Two guys besides my father influenced me the most ever in my life, and it was Mike Pettine and Johnny Majors at University of Pittsburgh.
So I guess, what did DiGiacomo, you see everybody else taking a week off? You figure you take a week off too? Yeah, I'm only putting you on, DiGiacomo, relax.
I don't like that. I don't like when people say that.
Well, you're the master stroker, and then you don't like to get stroked, huh?
The coaches don't give any special treatment, I feel. I mean,
Man, you look good. You look good in that position. Hey, what do you keep cheating over for?
You know, just because we did well without him for a half, you know, anybody that knows any football realizes when you're talking about a player like that over the long haul, you know, we need his positive contribution game in and game out.
Picciotti, good effort on defense.
nah, it sucks.
If Picciotti has my permission to start kicking somebody's ass out there if people aren't blocking for him.
Pay attention, Dustin. Let's go. He's worrying about all the other bullshit.
He doesn't like to practice on Mondays.
Is that part of his contract? Holy shit, what's each block?
You're dealing with a different breed of cat.
I got you.
Get the rings out right now. You're at a school. You're at a school function. You're still part of. This is a team meeting here. We went through this last week.
I look good.
Yeah. Better take the earrings off.
I gotta look good though.
1,000 in bellies if they don't come off. You can take that to the bank. Why do we have to get into this all the time? I told you, so long as you're with a school function. Now, you know, if you want to challenge me at every turn, it's going to... You look good without earrings. You look like a gypsy when you put them in. I'm like a dinosaur trying to live in a modern age, I guess.
And they're like the popular group, and they have their girls, and I mean, I think it's fun because friends with all of them. Like, I think it's cool. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of annoying to everybody else.
But you got the people who like us, then you got the haters.
Yeah, there's more haters than like.
And there's a lot of haters.
Oh, it's overrated, yeah.
They're not as good as people think?
No, they're good. I'm just saying it's not that big a deal.
It's over-glorified sometimes, seriously.
Because it's football, and for some reason America seems to have a obsession with it, especially since it's high school football.
I just think, like, I'll walk into English, like, a minute late, and, like, I'll get yelled at, and then, like, Dennis walks in, like, 5 minutes late, and she's just like, oh, it's okay.
There is definitely an imbalance there.
Sure. Our people hate me because they hate me.
That's a real conceited thing to say.
It's true though.
They just hate you because you're a West football fan.
Yeah.
No, because we're all fucking classed and stereotyped as fucking, you know, all jerk off. Yeah, like fucking meatheads. Fuck them.
This is an AP class. There's no football players in here. Huh?
Do you think football gets too much attention here, Wes?
Yeah, we don't even have a pool.
Lacrosse isn't even a sport at West.
The parent club supports the football team. We raise money, and that's why the boys get everything they do.
I think West football's great, man, because some of these guys will be like, this is like the best thing that they'll ever do in their life. This will be their best memories.
I really like Dustin. He's a nice kid. He's a cool guy. Okay, so you say I set my standards to the most popular kid? Like
Yes.
who? Like
Dustin Picciotti.
He is not me. I don't like him.
You have a superstar status quo.
Yeah, go Dustin!
Just give me it.
No!
Give me.
No!
And I just want to know why more managers aren't dating football players. I want to know that. That's what.
Because they don't respect the managers.
Thanks a lot.
I'm joking.
Yeah, Cynthia, grab my stuff.
Let's go.
That fork.
Neutral.
Ryan, who's going to win the game, North Penn or CB West?
That's not a leading question.
I always sit on the west side, and our family kind of divides. Half sit on the North Penn side, and the rest of us sit on the west side.
So the satisfaction out of a win would be more for joy for my kids that have worked so hard, as opposed to teaching them master something. I don't think I can teach him anything. He already knows everything there is to know about football. So.
Yeah.
I'll be all right after the game, one way or another, so long as I get a hug from the little ones
I was
there.
going to say, they will always run to you whether you win or you lose. It puts it in
Hopefully it's because we win.
Come on. I thought you were fast. Come on, beat me.
It's like a tranquilizer.
Yeah.
To come away for all these guys, give me these headaches here. I got this little kid. He doesn't make any mistakes. He doesn't talk back. He's very coachable. I think back and say, why wasn't it this good the first time around? He's having a good time. We're going to go home now, okay? No! You have to go have lunch. And your mommy's coming back.
Go CB West. Who's going to win the game?
West.
Yeah, you got it right. Now they have predicted a win. Okay, there aren't too many teams that stand up in your face and predict a win. I hope you're ready to step up and deliver.
'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again.
Damn football! Strike number 2! Move up! Move up!
Snap, short punt, take him, right, camber, oh, that's right, get through, 35, 30, 25, 30, 50, and 5, touchdown, 36, pitch is to Giacomo, Phil Giacomo, gets a middle, 25, 15, and 5, touchdown, Phil Giacomo, 36-yard touchdown.
Other than that, like off the field and everything, we get along really well. But sometimes in football, it's brutal.
Well, you know, he's my blood.
It brought back memories. I coached my brothers, Dan and Jim here, and that was real tough.
Their hips under him. Get under him. Get off him. Get off him. Get to the quarterback. Do it again. That's better. Do it again. Shit. 5 up downs right now for not bursting the quarterback when you got off. Let's go. That's the shit we're not doing.
Emotionally stressful every day, knowing going out to like practice with him. But
Matt Carey, that is just. Have you ever played worse, Matt, in your career? This guy had your number, Carey. He's got to be all league. Yes. That's football here at West. That's CB West. Not that, Carey. You went from an all-league candidate to you're fighting for your job right now, Matt.
yeah, we get in like pretty bad fights sometimes. Yeah, last one was like Council Rock week. We didn't talk that whole week up into the East game. Yeah, I wouldn't talk to him either. So, you know, it's mutual. You know, as I got older, it got easier for me to handle, you know, let it go in one ear, go out the other. You know, he's only saying it because he loves me and like he just wants the best for me.
And I know I have. I want people running over me if I'm kicking ass. Now, Matt's about the only one that's constantly coming to me saying, run over me, run over me.
It's a way to concentrate, Matt. Great concentration.
He's basically my dad, you know.
Well, he used to go with his dad to practice. He'd travel on the bus with them. When he got big enough, he was a ball boy. And so he was exposed to football from a very early age and always wanted to be a part of it.
My approach to him, you know, was pretty demanding.
And a Virginia defensive back named Mike Pettine had 3 interceptions, including one in the end zone with a minute to go to seal the upset.
Mike is so competitive, but Michael's his son, and he loves his son dearly. And I'll tell you what, nobody had a relationship. When Michael played for us at West, it was total turmoil.
I coached him. He's very durable, handles pressure, and that's because he had to put up with me. Usually fathers are tougher on their sons when they coach them than the other players. They don't want to show favorites. And I think you're more inclined to take out a frustration on someone that's a family member versus someone who isn't. He would get critiqued in the car, going into the house, at the dinner table. And anytime I could, you know, grab him, so he found his way to a room and, you know, locked the door.
Senior and I were coming home and you know, having arguments at the dinner table that she stepped in right away and said, either the football goes or I go.
Things quieted down after that.
But this guy here is not a dumb one. He would just pull the car over before we got home and let me have it then.
Is he as good a grandfather as he is a coach?
Definitely. Reserve judgment on the father part, but grandfather, yes, definitely.
I was especially tough one. You know, if I had to do it over again, I'd take a different approach.
A few things withstanding, like to raise my kids pretty much the same way. I had to qualify.
Not too many trips to the woodshed.
He's been talking about retiring, I think, for the last 10 years. Every year is his last year. But then, come spring, he never makes that decision final. He said, you know, I wouldn't make that decision final, but the way I'm feeling now is this will be my last year. And then he comes back the next year, and the next year, and the next year. He'll know when it's time.
Yeah, you heard Bacciati. I know you know about that already, probably, right? You know, Bacciati opened his mouth. Classic Bacciati.
He's like, yeah, they suck. The only reason they beat teams is, you know, because we played a team the week before and we kicked the shit out of them, and they just don't want to play the next week. So, you know, I don't even think we should have to play them.
And Dustin was like, I'm shitting on your team. I'm gonna shit on their field. I'm gonna shit on their coaches.
So that all got back to their whole team.
Hey, Dustin, come here a minute. What did you tell the ESPN guys here that day when they were asking you about North Penn? I mean, what did you
say? Anything?
You didn't say anything. You didn't badmouth North Penn, I hope?
No, I was one of those moods where I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so what do you think about 2 weeks? Just started joking on.
Paccioti's ugly! That's why I don't like him. He's ugly.
Oh, I heard they're talking some mad shit.
Well, we got their number. They're son.
All right, bulletin board material. You're going to talk to a lot of press. Now, I understand, Pettine, you've already given these guys all kind of bulletin board material. Evidently, the CB West tradition doesn't mean much. You know, we preach for years. Keep your mouth shut. Now, maybe you're one of the few that can back it up. Okay? But your ass is, you're a marked man.
It's fun, it's exciting, but it's also very difficult.
And now that they've played 3 times and West has won 3 times, does it get you feeling, gosh, I hope Michael wins one game?
No.
But I have to say, if Michael's team does win, I think his father will be happy for him, because I think it's very hard for him knowing that his son's on the other side. Yeah. So I think his dad would, don't you think he would have it? I think he would be fine with it. I think he would be all ready.
But I know a part of him would be very proud of Michael if that does indeed happen. And I think whichever team advances, the other family, Michael's family, were at all the playoff games and at the state championship game, and if the positions are reversed, Mike and I will be at every playoff game and hopefully the state championship game supporting them.
Hey, she wants Junior to be successful, but maybe after I retire.
You know, you couldn't have written the script any better.
You just pumped up.
Well, you should be pumped up.
I was there yesterday.
What
I was there. He's going to shock the world, man.
How do you live and die during these games? What do you do to keep yourself in check?
I don't handle it well, I have to admit.
What about this week, Joyce? What goes on the week of the game?
Well, I think both coaches purposely avoid each other this week. There may be a conversation or two over the phone, but there are no family get-togethers this week.
It's all business.
It's all business.
There you go, Pettine. What kind of bull crap is that? You're closing down when there's no need to close down.
Over here, Servy. Shake the rust off.
Push it. Beep, 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 beep. You know, putting you on that guy is like sending a poodle after a German Shepherd.
Okay, Clay. Run it again. You didn't set your feet. You threw it off your back foot, and then you give me that stupid look.
If that's wide open and you overthrow it, you better go for the damn nearest exit.
Yeah, you get the feeling that, you know, I get it, that they've had their success, whether you want to call us the new kids on the block or whatever you want to call it. I mean, we feel like it's our turn.
You try and pretend like it's just another game, but it's the season for both of them. But I was quite a celebrity the hospital today where I volunteer. Everyone coming in the gift shop, oh, I saw your picture in the paper. It was pretty exciting.
You know, it's funny. Junior called me up today and he said to me, well, here's your starting lineup. And he started naming guys. But he named exactly who was going to start. He was trying to play little mind games with me.
I feel like I get keyed on a lot. I mean,
yeah.
But, I mean, I know they're going to be probably hunting for me this game. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I made some obscene comments. You know, just joking around, but it's fine, man. I don't really care too much. I plan on giving out the punishment.
Normally, I wake up like 4:30, and come down, and you know it works out because I'll have a cup of coffee, and you know the paper comes about 4, one of them anyway. But 2 was like, okay, what do I do here? You know, I wanted to go back to bed, but I got the North Penn scouting report, so you know, I still have a lot to do.
They talking a lot of trash, yo. I said we can't curse on here, can we?
Sure.
I said we're gonna bust their ass, yo.
Okay.
Tonight is the game of the year. Many people saying the game of the century, even a few, the game of the millennium. It's North Penn, Central Bucks West. It's for all the marbles. The big game of the state this year, they're coming from everywhere. New York, West Virginia, all over.
Am I right? The Bucks stop.
Let's go. It's coming down to us right here. On 3, kick ass. 1, 2, 3.
Kick ass! You know, I've had some alumni come in and tell me, I watch your team this year. You don't seem to have a lot of guys that really want to mix it up. And West football lives on mixing it up.
5 deep around the stadium. Unbelievable. Maybe we can see a shot later on of just how deep it is. It must be 8,000 to 10,000 people here tonight, Tom.
Well, Beasley, to call this game a big game is a major understatement. Tonight's battle is a battle between two of Pennsylvania's football superpowers. Both undefeated teams going for a league title, father versus son. The subplots are almost endless in this one. Everyone is talking about this game.
You know, there's not going to be a halftime to turn this thing around if you let yourself get knocked out of it early. Take it to them early. Starting with the kickoff. All right. 1, 2, 3. Run!
It is a high, short kick, and it will be taken by Aaron Thomas at about the 25-yard line. Cuts to his left side. It is a handoff to Johnson. He's got nothing. Angelo Polino on the tackle.
Let's run an eye blast at the suckers. Give me, I want power left, waggle left.
Again, the power eye look. And it's a keeper rolling left. I mean, wide open. It's Ted Kenyon. And it's a touchdown, Central Box West. Kenyon just broke wide open. And the Bucks have drawn first blood.
Hey, Giacomo! Come here! When you see 91, get your ass up there!
And it is a handoff. Pettine. He's a 5. He's in. Touchdown. Dustin Pettine.
We're kicking their ass. We're kicking their ass.
Points. And the Bucks go out to a 13-0 lead.
Tell you what, Kukla's still down. He took a shot after he threw that ball. I know Mike Pettine Jr. is holding his breath right now.
And that will end the half. The mighty Bucks of Central Box West go to the halftime locker room leading 14-0.
I'm feeling good.
We got to come out and score right away.
My great defense. You got to keep it up. Now we got the ball the second half. We can break their backs with another score. Now you played a great first half. How much do you want in the second half? You wanted a lot.
Back to pass off play action. Got a lot of time. Throws the ball deep. He's got a man downfield. It's caught by Aaron Thomas, and he's inside the 10-yard line.
Let's go, West. Who's got it?
Second and goal at the 5-yard line. Takes the ball on a keeper. He's to the 3. He's in. Touchdown, Mark.
Pick it up, guys. Go, come on.
We've tried a lot of weapons, and some of them aren't going too well. I'm going to go with the one that's reliable, with the one that's effective, with the big gun.
Handoff goes to Pettine. He's got 5. He's got 6. He's got 7. He's got 10. Oh, Dustin Pettine with a great run. Dustin Pettine was stopped. He was stopped cold, and Pettine makes it happen. He gets the ball close. Yeah, he's got the first down. They have been hitting. This game has lived up to every bit of the hype.
3, 5, 3,
and melt the clock.
6, 7. To melt the clock.
7:45 to go in regulation.
What they do best.
That will be your ball game.
Hopefully we'll take care of business. We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right, just win the next one, all right?
Central Box West wins the Suburban One Championship, Suburban One National Championship. They will go into the playoffs, the #1 seed in the state.
It's very bittersweet. You know, I'm proud of my team.
So So when I could finally get to him and just hug him and tell him that I loved him and he played a great game and I was really proud of him, he was a little choked up, and I was, I guess, because I was, but he just hugged me really tight, and I could just feel the pain that he was feeling, and that just took the joy out of the win for me. I was so high 1 minute, and then just really...
You said something about it's a rematch in 2 weeks.
It's true. If they win that one, then he has a shot at West a second time, and I'm not looking forward to that, but if it means they continue to play another week, I'm all for it.
So enjoy this fantastic victory under a lot of pressure. A physical game, and you won the physical battle. So go upstairs, see your parents, enjoy it, be congratulated.
Dustin came up big, you know, in the key situations. There's not another player I'd trade him for in the country. I mean, some of the runs he had was unbelievable, you know. I mean, they were holding on the ball. He was dragging people. I mean, he's the top dog. That's all I got to say about that.
For Bucks West, he's in his 32nd year as head coach.
You're talking about a guy that's won 310 ball games in his career and lost only 42 and is looking for his third championship here in the 90s.
Ball at the 1 foot line. Handoff, Pisciotti. Touchdown, Central Bucks West. The run, Pisciotti wide. One-on-one, pushing. Touchdown, Central Bucks West. There's Pisciotti. First down and more. Goodbye. Here he is, bringing it 20. Pouring it on at the 10, and it's a touchdown. His 5th of the night. The next great player in Pennsylvania. You're looking at him. Pisciotti, Jr. Stud.
Bring it down.
Mailman, get ready. As they count it down for Mike Pettine. Got his 300 career win. And now a second consecutive state champion.
I mean, when you see a football team score on every offensive possession, how rare is that? That's a rarity on the level of a perfect game.
Don't be surprised if a year from now that these guys have this on their schedule again.
I get the feeling sometimes it's like destiny. Our fans talk about where we're going to go back. We're going to three-peat. That's not the way you play football. Your butts have to make it happen.
And you are looking in on Mike Pettine, one of the legendary coaches.
Yeah, you talk about Mike Pettine's career. It
deserves to be ranked up there. I mean, coming off the 2 years that we've had.
Everybody's talking about how good we are. Now, if you start believing that stuff, you're going to be in trouble.
But we have a great support group and a great community grassroots base.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Marty, how's it going?
And again, I'm not so sure that if you were losing, you know, that you'd have that type of support. You know, a lot of it is based. So there's the pressure to keep it going. Can we do it again? And But the fans, they just think Mike Pettine and me, we're just going to snap our fingers and we're there.
You know, the expectation is so high. So it seems most of the pieces of the puzzle to have a pretty good team are there, with the exception of the offensive line.
Forget about last year's team, it's your team.
If we're going to put a lot of time in on football and you're going to do well in your studies, then what has to go? Something has to go that the normal student doesn't give up. What is that going to be, Oriole? Social time.
Now, is it hard? You guys aren't allowed to party because you guys signed a pledge.
Yeah.
Now, no one has to disclose. No one just has to talk about how much you guys made.
You talk about football is like a family. You cry with these guys, your teammates, you laugh with them. The closer you are, I think the more you're going to pull for one another, you're not going to let one another down. Does this team have that closeness? I don't know yet. You know, I've been doing this since football-wise, taking up the fall of my life since 7th grade as a kid that went to practice every day and on the junior high 100-pound team, and played every year in high school, in college, and immediately coached, and have coached ever since 1962. You know, coaching is teaching, and if you're not teaching kids really essentials of what parents want, you know, this is good time spent for my kid to develop, a boy to become a man, learn teamwork, learn values of discipline, budgeting your time, and hopefully that's what we're doing, other than, you know, winning championships.
Good is not good enough with him, that's for sure. He's demanding. If you don't do it his way, boy, he can get awful angry.
You're the last one out of the huddle. You jog up, get your ass up, and then you don't get down. Why? You're not ready to play.
Everybody keep asking, when do you think he'll retire? When do you think he'll retire?
I know my dad's close to retirement. I don't know when he's going to get out, but
he's just so competitive. I would say at least another 3 or 4 years. That's the type of guy he is.
Make it happen.
Another medal arm by you, Alton. Another one.
High school football, the stakes have gotten higher, especially in a place like this, where you win, 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 and win. And people expect it. The community, it's good for the community. It makes everybody feel good in the school. It's got a lot of positive attributes.
That's right, Gary, my annual trip to Mecca, so to speak. I am indeed live here in Doylestown in the cafeteria of the two-time defending state champion Bucks of CB West.
You know, we have some blue collar and business type, executive type, but we have a pretty good mix.
You know, you got to draw on the West tradition.
you look at the West kids, and there's nothing magical in the water in the district, but these kids grow up fanatic about playing for CB West because of the tradition that's been built.
You know, one guy left our team, and what did he say? I don't think I'm cut out to play for a championship caliber team. He didn't want the pressure. He didn't want the competition. That's it. Quit now. You going to quit? I'm not quitting. Well, then get in. What are you stopping for?
You know, we put pressure on them as coaches. We run in very intense practices. I don't think you're going to find too many practices more intense.
That's still soft. Well, yeah, get out. You know, get out. Get out. Go read your press clipping.
You know, I could see if anybody